G'day there guys, it's your Aussie Hubby Markee, back at it again with another r/AmITheA video. Now with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and prepare to tell me in the comments who the hell is in the wrong here. Now our first post is by user AITA throwaway 6031, titled, "Am I the a-hole for hiding my friend's laptop because he imposed restrictions on me and my house?" Look, I know the title sounds bad, but please hear me out. This is my first year in college, everything is working out fine, except for my roommate. Ever since I moved here, I just can't stand him. Why? Well, I can write a whole story about why I despise this person, but I don't want to keep this long, so I will just mention the key points. 1. He's really messy. His room is a total mess. Not that I sleep there, but I don't have TV in my room, and sometimes have to go to his room for it. Note that we are paying equal rent, so he isn't doing me a favor for it. 2. He used to not even wash his plates until I told him I am not washing them for him. 3. He would leave a mess everywhere until I had to explain to him, like he's a little kid, as to why it's not good to have a dirty house. 4. Bathroom smells horrible whenever he leaves it. He can't even clean the toilet after use. Luckily though, I would rarely see him because I would spend most of my times at either the library, gym, or with friends, or with my girlfriend after classes. Now though, because of what is happening, I must have to stay in the house with him, which is killing me. I now have to work out and study at home. I like to jump rope as a cardio exercise for 10 to 15 minutes, which can make some noise. 2 days ago, while I was exercising, he told me to stop jumping rope and find something else because I make too much noise. I got so ticked off because I never complain when he does things that bother me, but now he can't even handle some noise for 10 minutes. I told him I won't stop, so he just went back to his room. Yesterday though, when I wanted to work out again, I couldn't find my rope. I asked him if he has seen it, and told me that he hid it from me and will give it back to me when he finishes studying as he can't concentrate. I got so ticked off because again it's just 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 with breaks in between. I never complain when he bothers me, but he can't even handle this. Because of this, I hid his laptop when he was out today. While I was working out, he asked me if I had seen his laptop, and I told him I'll give it to him after I finish working out. He said he has an online exam tomorrow and that he needs it now to revise, but I refused to give it to him. I'm physically stronger than him, so he can't do anything to me either. He just went back to his room. Well, when I finished working out, he asked for the laptop back. I went outside to get it, but I couldn't find it anymore. I think someone might have stolen it. I told him I couldn't find it, and he told me that if I don't give him his laptop back, he will press charges on me. But he has no proof, so I doubt it will work. He's blaming me for stealing his laptop, but I just hid it because he tried imposing restrictions on me. I didn't know it would get stolen. Today, I even caught him stalking me on social media. I called him out for this. Am I the a-hole for this, or did he go too far? Edit. Stop discussing about court and stuff like that. That's none of your business. Simply judge the post, please. Edit 2. You guys are funny if you think this post counts as reliable proof. Again, stop discussing about law. Edit 3. I will no longer be answering or reading any comments related to laws. 4Games1 says, "You're the a-hole. You hid his laptop outside where it could be stolen. It is your fault his laptop was stolen. You are fully to blame." Can everyone upvote this to get it to r/all so his roommate sees it? Bunhead says, "You're the a-hole big time. Additionally, your roommate is doing you a favor, allowing you to watch TV in his room. Seriously, why do you feel entitled to his TV? Your rent covers your rent." And he didn't hide the laptop, someone didn't steal it. OP stole the laptop and then lost it. This. Gee, I wonder what's worse. Roommate stole my jumping rope or roommate stole my laptop. If you report both of them to the police, one will be laughed at and one will be charged. Guess which one? You're the a-hole, and he has a much better case than you think. You straight up told him you took it. Are you planning to perjure yourself? Because that's the only way you're not going to be paying for that laptop. The police might even be interested in arresting you and charging you with a crime. This, and he's also the a-hole for his edits that he wants us to stop discussing the legal consequences that you mention, when he's the one that wrote, If I don't give his laptop back today, he will press charges on me, but he has no proof, so I doubt it will work. In the law, that's called opening the door. In the sub, it's called normal discussion. I laughed a bit when I saw the edits. It's like he thinks breaking the law doesn't factor into an a-hole vote. Most people frown deeply on breaking laws in general, but he somehow thinks he had a moral obligation to do it, and therefore we should ignore the illegal part. It's so true. It's so dumb. How dumb can you be? Our next post is by user, the female Lincoln, titled, "Am I the a-hole for wanting to send my teen daughter to a weight loss camp? My daughter, 15, is 5'6", and the last time she weighed herself at the doctor's office, she was at 238 pounds. She is morbidly obese. She was always a chubby kid who loved food and hated activity, no matter how much her dad and I tried to get her to dance, play sports, go on walks with our dog, etc. She would refuse. I regret not taking her to a nutritionist earlier, but I thought she would go into puberty and her weight would eventually be okay. Unfortunately, she was 11 when her dad and I decided to get a divorce. No special reason, it just wasn't working. We co-parent well, we're friendly, we go on trips with our daughter, etc. But the divorce impacted her negatively at first. She started gaining a lot of weight around that time, so we decided to take her to a nutritionist who recommended therapy for her. She initially lost about 15 pounds, but she was already very dependent on food. Now she's a food addict. Her emotional eating was something she used to cope with divorce until she adjusted. But now it's all about compensating for not having friends, compensating for not being pretty, compensating for not being liked by boys, etc. She still goes to therapy regularly. She doesn't suffer from depression or another health condition that might cause her weight gain. She is simply addicted to food. And at her vulnerable age, mentioning her weight to her makes her very upset and uncomfortable. Her dad and I both know this, and it's been causing arguments between us. I'm a very active, fit person, and I try to lead by example. No junk food allowed in the house, I cook as much as I can, or I get healthy meal delivery. And this makes me the bad guy. She's into the whole body acceptance movement, and she sold the story to her dad, who now allows her to raid his pantry and they eat junk together, just so he wouldn't upset her because she's daddy's little girl. He's happy that he gets to be the good guy and I'm the villain who doesn't want her daughter to settle because I want her to live past 35. I encourage her to love herself and I want her to embrace how amazing she is. But I don't want her to accept her condition as something normal that can't be changed. I'm tired seeing how miserable she is because of her weight, and I'm tired of thinking about all the diseases that could kill her. I found a great weight management treatment facility, edited instead of camp because it's very different from the infamous fat camps. For teens, that is 6 hours away. I've done my research, but her dad doesn't want her to sign for her to go there from January to July. We can visit her and she can come home once a month. She can go to school there, make friends and get healthy. He says that I'm being a selfish jerk and that our daughter doesn't want to go. She told me that she will think about it, but I think her dad is loving his role as her superhero because they've bonded in the past months, and will encourage her not to go. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Lots of repetitive questions and comments. Please look through my comment history. Thank you. Edit 2. Again, I've explained everything about this treatment facility, her current therapy, and approach to her eating disorder. The fact that the choice is ultimately hers. Yes, we do have a dog, and no, she doesn't want to walk him. No, this isn't a quick fix. No, I don't think my daughter hates me. Edit 3, I'm just going to skip over a little bit. The facility does have therapists, specialists, doctors, and all types of health professionals. They do have ED programs that she would be a part of, and she would be in touch with her current therapist, because she has a hard time opening up to new people. So that would help her. I double and triple checked everything and talked to so many parents and employees, but it's ultimately her choice. My fear is that her dad will cloud her judgment by bribing her with food. JK Bay Bay says, not the a-hole. I'm speaking as someone who also grew up fat and used food as a coping mechanism, which I'm still unlearning and ballooned to 340 pounds before I was 25 years old. My mum was basically you. The more she talked about it, the more I snuck food or found ways to binge in private. It got even worse when I could drive. Do not force her to go to fat camp, it will make it worse. Keep being a good role model, encourage healthy behaviors, don't nag about her weight, and love her where she's at. She will come to her own conclusion about her weight eventually. For me, I was 27 and couldn't get under 300 pounds no matter how hard I tried, and I began working with a weight loss clinic. I had weight loss surgery earlier this year, and I'm now active and a hiker and am 197. Do I wish I'd done it sooner? Yup. But do I also wish I didn't feel like a fat disappointment to my mum for my entire life? Even more so. I know you're doing what you're doing because you love your daughter, but she's not receiving it as love. Opie said the daughter is pre-diabetic and at risk of heart issues. I really don't think letting your own daughter become more unhealthy until she decides she wants to help is a good idea. It's a parent's job to look after their child's health. When her daughter got therapy, she lost 15 pounds, which is a good indicator that maybe this camp will help her even more beyond losing weight. She might learn some healthy habits and learn how to deal with her emotions differently. She's only 15. That is so young. It's better for her to lose weight now and prevent any serious health issues before they develop. It's good to be body positive and love the body you have, but you should also take care of it at the same time. Diabetes and heart issues at 15 is serious, and it'll follow her for the rest of her life if she doesn't decide to lose the weight in the future. Agreed. Obesity-related health problems can start quite early. She may already have issues with low energy and mobility problems. And 420 No-Scoper Hacker says, "You said your daughter is even considering going, so I would say not the a-hole. Your ex seems to be making this about your divorce and being the better parent, and that's really just childish considering your child's health is on the line. I agree with the other comments saying you should get her help for the eating disorder. Find a therapist that specializes in that area." Agreed. I kind of feel like he's trying to win the daughter's affection at the mum's expense. He'll do anything to be the favorite, even enable unhealthy behavior. And thankfully, OP posted an update. "Hey Reddit, so my ex wouldn't even consider sending our daughter to get treatment for her eating disorder. We missed the sign-up deadline and my daughter had moved in with her dad full-time thanks to his encouragement. He was loving his role of the good parent, and I lost it when my daughter told me that she had stopped talking to her therapist. Desperate, I filed for sole legal custody and change of housing arrangements in my favor. My ex was upset that I did it without notifying him first, and my daughter refused to talk to me at all. I was exhausted, so I started therapy alone. My therapist told me to write a letter to my daughter, and that's exactly what I did. 4 days later, and she agreed to meet me. We didn't talk much at first, but she was happy that I started therapy. She told me that she misses her therapist, but her dad told her that she doesn't need therapy because she's fine. She also said she misses me, but she wasn't ready to move back in with me because of how controlling and restrictive I am. 2 days later, I asked her to go grocery shopping with me, and I had set aside $50 for her to choose the groceries she wants to buy for our home, in case she comes back, and to show her that I was ready to change. In the meantime, my ex got served and my daughter and I went through another period of very little contact because of it. Mid-February, she decided to move back in with me if I put the legal actions on hold. This was a smart tactic on her dad's behalf, I'll admit, but she was finally back with me, so I decided to focus on that. I realized that I made the mistake of competing with my ex so many times when I should have focused on my daughter instead. It's been 2 months, and my daughter hasn't spent a single full day at her dad's place. They hang out, but she chooses not to spend extended periods of time at his house. She's been seeing her therapist since moving back in, and she's in a better place now. It took losing her for me to realize that I needed to change too in order to improve our relationship. I learned to relax more and stop being so tense and constantly moving, and she is starting to understand that I'm doing all I can in her favor. She's decided that she wants to lose weight. She's 23 pounds down and is hoping to improve her health before college. We have snacks, pizza night, and we bake a dessert together every weekend. Those things I would never allow before, but we're both learning balance. She still doesn't like to exercise, but we do go on late night walks around the block, and she's doing more chores. Our relationship has never been this genuine. We have a long way ahead and I'm preparing for the low points that are bound to happen, especially with her dad. But I'm appreciating what we have now. Edit. Just a quick edit to say thank you for all your kind, supportive and informative comments. I appreciate it. I apologize if I don't respond to everyone. Edit 2. She follows the approach of intuitive eating combined with balanced meals that don't deprive her of any food type. This way, she's learning the concept of balance and abandoning the concept of food as a coping mechanism or a punishing tool. As far as physical activity goes, I'll definitely talk to her and see if she likes any of the recommendations you have given. While I agree that weight loss can be achieved even without physical activity, I think that abandoning her sedentary lifestyle step by step, literally, is another way of getting healthier since weight loss isn't a primary goal. I don't have much else to say about her dad, other than the fact that I've just recently, with the help of my therapist, realized that he's a classic Disney dad. I know some of you think it's wrong for me to take him to court, but I would stop at nothing to help my kid. I wasn't going to sit back and let him baby her into death and self-loathing while removing her from my life. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Sorry it was a bit long, but it was a really wholesome story, and I'm glad that it ended this way. Anyway, on to our next post. This one's by user Who Wants to Know 92, titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my wife that we're both pregnant? Look, I know this sounds bad, but hear me out. I'm using a throwaway because my wife uses Reddit, so please don't upvote this, I just want honest feedback. My wife, 29 female, and I, 27 male, do well financially. So we decided to have our fourth child. Every single pregnancy we've been through, my wife has been a complete nightmare. Some things I can deal with, like waking up to the sound of her puking her guts out every morning, but when she starts demanding I go to the store every day to get her snacks or set up her foot bath thingy because her feet are swollen, I get a little impatient. I work way longer hours than her in a much more physically demanding profession. I'm a plumber, she's an engineer. So I think we're putting an equal amount of effort into this baby. And it's not like I don't help around the house, either. She does all the cooking and dishes, but I do laundry, take out garbage, and mow the lawn. We pay someone to do the floors and bathrooms weekly. My mother-in-law comes over to help with the kids because she says I'm useless. I've been meaning to make a Just No Mother-in-Law post about her. And while I appreciate the help, I'm sick of her crap. Just because I want 1 hour of video games to myself a day instead of cleaning up messes in the kitchen does not mean I'm useless. This all came to head yesterday when my wife screamed at me from the kitchen to get off my ass and entertain our twins so she could focus on her meatloaf. I made a dumb joke about how this is the third meatloaf we'll be eating this week, and she lost her crap. She told me how I have no sympathy for the fact that she's pregnant. I should be taking on more of her chores since I can't breastfeed, but then I reminded her that I still work a lot more hours than her. So I think we're basically both pregnant. She got really quiet and has only spoken to me regarding the kids since. I don't think I'm wrong, but I'll apologize to her if it makes her happy. Am I the a-hole here? Edit, my wife does get breaks, guys. I set up the annoying foot bath thing every night while she does dishes, and then she relaxes while watching YouTube every night while I put the kids to bed. She also won't eat my cooking because she grew up in the Southeast Asia and doesn't like American food. It's not my fault she's picky. Edit 2, it's a Korean barbecue meatloaf she makes, since some people pointed out meatloaf is typically American. Anyway, my wife found this post and now she wants us to do couples counseling. Thanks for the feedback, guys. Anabolic Beard says, you're the a-hole. You want to play video games instead of watch the kids? You're irritated by what your wife is making for dinner? You think that things like waking up in the middle of the night because she's puking are analogues to waking up in the middle of the night to puke. You're a huge, major jerk. Now, your wife needs to handle things better, but this is a stupid way and a stupid plan to think this will fix it. She's creating a living creature inside of her, and let me assure you, that crap is way harder than whatever you have to do. My god, man. Why on earth did he want a fourth child when he demands an hour of video games every single day? Or say, I think we're putting equal work into this baby. Oh really? You're helping to grow it inside of you too? Teeny Gecko says, you're the a-hole for this. Oh wow, a hero. Your wife must be so grateful that you deal with this. You're truly brave. Also, you're not pregnant, your wife is. You have no idea what it's like, and by the looks of it, you don't even care. There's a lot of people just reiterating the same points over and over, so I think it's time to move to the next post. By user, Baby in Meeting. Titled, Am I the a-hole for getting ticked at my wife for handing me our son in the middle of an important presentation? My wife is currently not working and our son is 2 months old. I still have work and I'm working from home currently. Today at 12, I had to give a presentation about how our team is handling the crisis and then give a proposal about a new product design. This was given to my boss and the VP of Engineering. It's probably the most important meeting I've had in months, which really isn't saying much since most of them are useless, but this one was actually important. I told my wife beforehand about it and reminded her this morning. Then halfway through she comes in with my son crying, handed him to me and just leaves. She's not only left the room, but she left the house and didn't take her phone. She didn't come home for 4 hours. This threw the whole pace of the meeting off. I had to put him in his crib and then had to keep an eye on him. Additionally, it stressed me out in the middle of an already stressful meeting to my less than understanding boss. Suffice to say, I was pretty fudging ticked off. When she got back, I yelled at her that she can't just disappear for 4 hours without her phone and that she interrupted something I told her not to beforehand. She then said she needed a break, and I told her if she needed a break, she could watch TV and zone out like a normal fudging human being instead of fudging off to God knows where, leaving me stuck between a newborn and a judgmental boss. She got ticked off and said that I should be more understanding and that she's doing more work than me. That also ticked me off because she absolutely isn't doing more work than me, she doesn't even have a fudging job. She said she was going to stay at her mom's, again leaving me alone with my son during work tomorrow. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Since people assume I do nothing around the house. Okay, perhaps I didn't want to make a giant list of chores, but clearly it's necessary. I cook 5 out of 7 days a week, 7 out of 7 now that we can't get takeaway in good conscience. She doesn't know how. I do the dishes because I cook. I vacuum and take out the garbage. I clean the bathrooms. The only thing she does is take care of our son. So you tell me if I'm doing nothing around the house. Not the a-hole. Your wife is pretty much an a-hole for not listening to you. You told her many times that you have this meeting and she just dropped the kid off to you. Worst part, I have the worst feeling that your boss is going to question you. She just embarrassed you right in front of your leader of the workforce. I hope you don't get into serious trouble. Pro tip, if your partner is reasonable in general and suddenly starts acting irrationally, a few weeks after having a baby, your first thought needs to be concern, not blame and anger. I completely understand that OP is stressed about work, but his wife is showing clear signs of mental illness. Thank you, dear God. Taking care of a 2-month-old infant is a lot of work, and she's also trapped at home, probably has 0 alone time, and she clearly just broke. Don't yell at her, get her help. Exactly. My mum's best friend has severe postnatal depression with her first son. I have the clearest memory of being 8, answering the door, her handing me the baby and leaving. This was a baby we weren't able to hold without sitting down, mind you. I started screaming for my mum and we had him for 2 days. Her ex was a useless prick so he wouldn't pick up the baby, and she laid in bed catatonic while her friends got her help. This isn't normal because it's mental illness. Get the F off Reddit and get your wife some help. This is not an argument that needs to be won. Neither of you will be the victor here. She is very clearly suffering from PPD, and you are using time to take your conflict to AITA on Reddit. Of course she shouldn't have done that, but she was very clearly at a breaking point. Why else would a mother hand off a crying 2-month-old and run away without her phone for 4 hours? How can you be so self-centered that you focus on disparity of household chores and are completely oblivious to what is going on? Yeah, he should have used his years of medical and psychological training to correctly identify and diagnose a condition that he's never had experience with. Please grab the nearest crowbar and extract your head from your ass. What he does now, armed with this knowledge, will make him a jerk or not. Literally every couple has counselling on all the PPD red flags before discharge from the hospital. ETA, I'm certainly not saying he should be an expert. That's a big part of why I didn't enter a judgment. But for him to say elsewhere that it isn't obvious that she's really struggling is scary. Edit 2. Apparently the discharge education is not universal. I was wrong. I truly hope we get an update from OP a couple months from now saying he had a light bulb moment with this post and he, his wife and baby are all doing well now. Bonus if the boss was sympathetic. Alright, that was really loaded. This is obviously a very angry AITA post. It's probably, in all honesty, going to get deleted soon because it's a really fresh one. So I hope that, this didn't trigger anyone with PPD or anything that is going on in your life. I feel like this is something that needs to be talked about. Not everyone knows about the effects of PPD and what it looks like. I definitely don't know myself, so this is very informational. Anyway, guys, I hope you have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to. This has been Markee. Tell me what you thought about all these stories down in the comments below. I feel like this is a really good mix of them today. I'll definitely have more. I honestly feel like doing 2 episodes a day of AITA. There's so much content, but if I can do it, I will. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.